Hi. Okay, we're in the kitchen because I need to at least make one of these sandwiches. Because it's 11:13 and somebody hasn't eaten in like 7. So yeah, like 4 hours. So one of my friends posted this morning something about a leap of faith, but spelled it with F-A-Y-T-H. And it got me thinking about the hymn of the faith. The fact that that's how the term faith is spelled, because it's a noun in Final Fantasy X. So I played the hymn of the faith for Aaron, which wound up being a YouTube video that was like ridiculously long, because it wound up being all of the hymn of the faiths, because you listen to the hymn of the faith every time you're in one of their temples. And it's sung by supposedly the person that was the faith. Whatever. Basically, each temple has a different person singing the exact same song. And like in Bahamut's temple, you have like what sounds to be a little kid singing it. But that. So there's that. Huh. But then that got me thinking about like Final Fantasy X and having it had kind of a gotcha moment right after, I do not know her name. I do know the fight. It took me a long time on that fight. I had to go out and level up for that fight. You're Chicky at the end of Zanarkand. Alright. Anyways. And then I started talking to Aaron on the walk up to the train this morning about all the various gotcha moments, or like, what? Moments in Final Fantasy. And the fact that that Final Fantasy is really good at doing that. And that's why I like playing the console ones, because there isn't really like gotcha moments in the MMOs. It's sort of like having a really fun time playing or watching a bunch of movies about something, per se. I mean, anyways, and then having like a theme park about it. And for Disney that works because the kids get to be inside the world. But if you're watching something from honey on my hand, from a point of view that's like, you know, regimented, this, that, and then having like a theme park around it, you're sort of like inundated with it. And it's all the time. It's a great world to go to, but it's just not for me. I don't like the MMOs because there's no real... Because the idea of what I like about the Final Fantasy series is not what the MMO tends to do. By its nature, it's not really able to do, because it has, much like WoW, it has to come up with better and better storylines if they keep coming up with like clinchers, and that's why some television series fail. It's they come up with this cliffhanger, and then they kind of come up with a better cliffhanger, then they gotta come up with a better cliffhanger. Pretty soon they're like coming up with ultimate cliffhangers, and you lose your illusion, and you lose the illusion. So, and it got me thinking, if like Final Fantasy VI, the world ended. I mean, I don't remember what I call 2 very well. I remember there being a Mist Dragon and the Red Wings. I don't remember much of the game. Everyone else wants to call it 4, because that's technically what it was, but I played it as 2. But I remember 3 very well, even though it's technically 6. And it was like, the world ended. You basically had Australia floating over the planet for a good long time. Magical Australia, let's call it. Frankly, Australia probably is pretty magical. I've never been there. And just floating over the world, and all of a sudden, like, the magic stops, and it comes crashing down to the planet. I mean, you think Age of Ultron was pretty bad with, like, a small city. Imagine Australia. Anyways, it was a floating continent, comes crashing down, just wrecks the world. The world, you can't fix the world after that. I mean, you wake up, like, what, a year later? You know, as one of the characters you've gotten, and yeah. In Final Fantasy VIII, you have to like literally let the end of the world happen again. I mean, well, it's a different end of the world. It's not an end of the world that wrecks it forever, but you can't get to the person who you're fighting because they don't exist in time. They exist in the future. It's confusing in the game. I really like it, but you have to let her plan happen so that you can get to her. You have to let time compression happen. Everything has to exist at the same time. But there's that. In Final Fantasy IX, I get it. The gotcha moment is literally the last boss. I mean, there's technically the whole idea of the twin planet between Terra and Gaia, and that the main character is actually from the other planet, and he's whatever. He's a clone, he's got a tail, and the end boss has, what you think is the end boss has a tail, and they're like brothers from the same cloning thing. It's got its gotcha moments, and I can understand that literally the end boss, the one that ends the game, that isn't like a gimme fight, is out of nowhere. You're like, dude, what is this? And it's just sort of when I played through it 2 or 3 times. I don't get where he comes from. I get what he is. He is the entity outside of he is the entity of Oblivion. It's sort of, I guess it's the fact that we are fighting death. I don't know. I just know that when you kill the guy, everything goes back to normal. And I mean, I like the game, I like Myst, I like the fact that, the summons were in the cinematics for once, that the world kind of revolved around them, but it was I don't know where that boss came from. And again, in Final Fantasy X, you've got the gotcha moment when Tidus is in Dream. Huh. And by saving the world, you're gonna lose your lover. What do? Save the world, save your lover. Save the cheerleader, save the world. Red pill, blue pill. I mean, and that's the sort of thing, that's the dilemma. Red pill, blue pill. It's a Matrix decision. Final Fantasy VII didn't really have a Matrix decision. I mean, yes, you could let the end of the world happen, per se, but there wasn't the stopping of the end of the world. The gotcha moment in Final Fantasy VII to me was when you get to the idea, and I believe it's in Nibelheim, where you slowly come to the realization that your past is not your past. Which, okay, we'll go with that one. But that just makes Cloud to be just sort of even crazier than he really is. And, I don't know, maybe people latched onto that for some reason. Everyone's like, but Aeris, and she dies. And I'm like, she's not the first character to completely die. Final Fantasy IV, and I remember, had Palom and Porom. They literally sacrificed themselves to use their twin magic to stop the walls from collapsing in on our heroes. They turned themselves to stone. Technically, yes, they came back to life later, but at that time, at that game, they were dead. And other characters in other games have died. Permanently. What about a party member? Party members, yes, too. Party members have died, too. Huh. So it's just Aeris was not the first. She's definitely not the last. And who played her anyways? I mean, I didn't. When she died, I was like, well, that's good. Thank God I didn't level her. And I didn't identify with Cloud in any way. I don't understand how 7 is so popular. I don't understand why 8 isn't nearly as popular. I found people that like 8, but... And people rag on me for even liking 6. Oh, it was the worst game ever. Worse than 9? Then nothing or everything is worse than 9. And I'm like, except for 7. And they're like, well, 7 doesn't count. And I'm just like, you have no idea what you're talking about. So, when we're going up there, we've got 10. And let's not talk about anything with a hyphen after it, because those are just fun games to extend the storyline. They're not real Final Fantasy games. And then you have 11, which is an MMO, and you're like, meh, I guess, sure, but it's just an MMO, and it kind of flopped. And then 12. Did 12 have a gotcha moment? I don't know. I've played it twice. I played it twice. I don't really remember it that much. I don't even know where it's at. Otherwise, I probably would replay through it. 13? I have 12 and 13 confused. Oh, shit. Huh. Do I? What? I have them confused. I don't know 13. Yes, I do. Whatever. I'm gonna have to figure this shit out. Oh no, 13 with lightning! Right! Why couldn't I remember that one? That one's got a great gotcha moment. When it's just like, by the way, these two are like from way back, and they are like these two are locked away because of the fact that you live in a pretty city. Pretty little planet. And whatnot. And you find out that, you know, I don't know their names, but black-haired chickie and red-haired chickie, I like 13. Now that I think about it, I like 13. I don't know about 13 too, but Lightning Returns, I haven't played it yet. 14, another MMO, but just basically a reboot of 11. And then 15, I don't know. I'm waiting for 15 because I want to get back to console gaming with a Final Fantasy. Like I said, I haven't played the MMO, but it's like, it kind of loses its story aspect, that there's finality to it. So, whatever. This is a long video, and I just ranted about Final Fantasies. I'm probably going to get hate speech for this. Yep. Just the fact that I trashed on Final Fantasy VII. Oh, this video is going down the tube. Bye.